first fell in love with theater, I think I was 4 years old. I saw Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat at the Pantages Theater. And I asked my parents to buy the album, and I remember putting it on in the middle of a living room and dancing around and learning all the songs. And I think that's when my parents first knew that this would be something that I would do with my life. And then I did shows in middle school. My first show was Anything Goes. And then throughout high school, and then I studied it in school and so college, so I've been singing ever since, really. Theater and musicals are important to see. It exposes people to stories that are different from their own. Understanding where other people come from, how other people share information. And for me, it's important. Well, first of all, I love storytelling, becoming another person, figuring out what motivates a character, and then being able to come together with another group of people who've all done their homework and work together to create and to tell a story that, someone has found valuable for society. So this is kind of a funny story. Well, I don't know if it's funny, but it's an interesting story for me because I had actually taken a 4.5-year pause from performing. And I was in New York and I was seeing a bunch of shows, and it really inspired me to get back into theater. So I went to the library that day, and I opened up backstage.com, and one of the first postings I saw was for P3 Theater's Evita. And it's a show I've always loved, always wanted to do, and I thought, okay, I'll sign up for an audition. And I auditioned, got cast, and honestly, it's been one of the best things that I could have done for myself at this point in my life. My creative process. Well, I'll for instance, this show, Doris Day is a character or a performer I didn't know much about. So I became familiar with her music. I started listening on YouTube, going through all of her music, found songs that I've always loved but didn't know actually were Doris Day songs. And then watched some of her movie musicals, which, are charming, and kind of get a sense of what the time is like, how they're approaching the characters, because it is a different set in the 50s, 60s. It's a different style of acting and leading men, different type of performances. So for me, I really studied that, and then try to add my own take on things. And as we rehearse, you get feedback from directors, from your fellow castmates, and so it all really informs how the show comes together. The main story arc of Day After Day, it's about the music and life of Doris Day, and we start from her discovery with Barney Rapp to joining Les Brown's big band, and then her move into a solo career and movies, and you kind of chart the progression of her career. And my role, I play the narrator, which is, he tells her story, but it's also telling the story of the writer of the show, Tony Santamauro. It's really his character and the way he perceives and his relationship with Doris. So there are moments where the two of them come together as Tony and Doris, and they're reminiscing about her movies and songs in this great movie medley. So it's kind of got a bit of everything. It's storytelling, it's music, it's imaginary relationships of two people coming together. So I play the narrator / the man. So I kind of move the story along with a lot of recounting of various aspects of Doris Day's life, but I also play various men in her life. So I play Barney Rapp, who is essentially the band leader who discovered Doris, and then I play Les Brown, where she came into her own, into major success with songs like Sentimental Journey, and then there's like a cameo with a music producer, Mitch Miller, which is fun. Look forward to that. And so, but mostly it's as the narrator moving the story forward. There is a lot of pressure, I think, mostly on the Doris, because she's, portraying a character that everyone loves and adores and knows so much about. For me, I have a little bit more freedom to be myself, and because I'm essentially playing a fan who's in love with her, adores her work. So it's a little less pressure on me. The pressure comes in that it's a 2-person show, and there's an incredible amount of material to get through for 2 people. We're on stage for about 2 hours. That's a big challenge. My co-star, Deborah. What can you say? She is actually truly phenomenal. I don't know how they found her. I can't imagine anyone else playing this role at this point in time. She sounds like Doris. She looks like Doris. She has her, her characteristics. It's truly wonderful, and she is a very, very wonderful co-star and person. The two directors. So this is an unusual and rare circumstance where you actually get to work with two people who wrote the story and originated the two roles of the show. So it's been a fantastic learning opportunity to work with people who've already been in, who've gone through this experience. They've been so insightful. They know so much about Doris, and they both are such fans. And to work with people who are as passionate as they are is really lucky. And the music director, he's been along for the ride as well. They've done this show for 20 years, and so it's great. It's a really unique experience to work with people who understand the material as in depth as they do. So yeah, we've been really lucky. What I want the audience to get out of Day After Day, I want them to have a great time. I want them to be reminded of their experience watching Doris firsthand, throughout her career, songs that they love to listen to, parts of movies, scenes. I want them to have a great time, to relive their experience with Doris, and I want them to leave feeling like they've gone through an interesting ride of her life. If you're a fan of Doris Day, this is why you have to come see our show. We have about 53 of her songs, back-to-back, interspliced with scenes from her life, from her movies, stories that you may not be aware of. We go in and take an in-depth look at her life and music, and it's truly fun, it's fast-paced, and you will walk out of here singing Que Sera, Sera, if nothing else. I think the Southern California community must come to our show Day After Day, because this is a story that isn't often told. We mentioned that Doris Day, while she had this incredible career, not many people talk about it or tell her story. And this is a fantastic rendition where you have interesting facts about her life, about her career, filled with, I think it's like 53 songs from her book. It's just jam-packed with like amazing Doris Day facts and music, and it's fun. I think we do a really good job having fun, and I think you will have a fun time with us. John has created something in Long Beach. What he's done is phenomenal, with the mission of bringing theater to the masses, to people who can't necessarily afford to drive into LA, or, to be able to have a local community theater where he can hire actors who don't always have the opportunity. It's a tough business from the performer's side. So the more theaters, the better, more opportunities we have. And for me personally, he brought me back into performing by establishing P3. It brought me back with the opportunity to do Evita. So I'm in debt to John. I think he's done an amazing thing here for the community, and I think we're all pretty lucky for that. I'm grateful.